Well, hello there. This is Geeks Assembled, and I'm Susie, and that's Lee, and darn happy to see you guys. This week we are discussing the Sword of Orion. It's Paul McGann and India Fisher as Charlie, and a bunch of Cybermen and stuff. And it's a really interesting connection. I've been sort of looking at this through the eyes of robots versus people. Um, uh, the last podcast that we did this week, I was talking about a certain kind of robot created by Robco for the TV show Fallout, which is a really interesting company that creates robots that does a really good job creating robots. And so this one is about a war that's been going on between two opposing sorts of foes, and one of them is a robot. One of them is a robotic foe, and they are starting to use cyber technology, which is just it's just incredible. Lee, what's your opening thoughts?
Well, I always say Cybermen aren't robots, but they're human
Mm-hmm. That's
with
true.
implants, which makes them really cyborgs. Um, but
Yep.
that out of the way. But there is the Android War and the Cyber War in this.
Yeah.
Um, this is, yeah, Sword of Orion. This was Paul McGann's second story release when he joined Big Finish
Mm-hmm.
um, all those years ago. After only appearing once as the Doctor on TV, of course. Um, and he's still at it now, still working for them, playing the Eighth Doctor. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
this is very atmospheric, sort of claustrophobic because it all takes place on
Two ships.
two ships.
Sorry.
So darkened ships, darkened corridors. Um, it's the bringing back to life the Cybermen, Cyber leader. Um, and there's also a twist at the end, of course. But I yeah, it's a good story, but does it work? It sort of works because this was based on uh, a fan-made project back in the 1980s by Nicholas Briggs.
Hmm.
He had a little gang of people making audio dramas, Doctor Who audio dramas for themselves, where Nicholas Briggs played the Doctor and all like that. And this was one what they'd done, and he sort of revamped it for this release. Getting changing it all for Paul McGann. Um, it works. It's good to hear the Cybermen. This was I think, is it the invasion style of the Cybermen? I think. Uh, but
Yeah.
the the one thing what did annoy me in this
Yeah.
was the constant use of the Cyberman music from the it was I think it sounded like from the 1960s style of music, the clanking, it was all the way through.
Yeah.
I think they did overuse it a lot.
Huh.
Um, but yeah, the performances in this were brilliant. Like, you can't knock Paul McGann and India Fisher. They worked so well together for several years, didn't they?
Right.
Um, and the supporting cast were brilliant in this. It's it is it, and it has become a fan favorite of people who listen to these audios. It's one of their favorites, one of the Eighth Doctor's favorites. So,
Yeah.
but it's always good to have Cybermen because, as we said before, many times before, Big Finish know how to do Dalek stories. They know how to do Cybermen stories better than they do on the TV, shall we say?
Yeah.
Um, they pull you in more. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I say I love the camaraderie between Charlie and the Doctor. So back over to you, Susan.
Yeah, this the fact that the first bit of this, it doesn't, they don't have, the Cybermen are just at the very last bit. Like it really is a good cliffhanger. And then the story continues, and these these beings that are there who want the Cybermen, and then like the little Cybermat thing that was fun, like the little wormy guy that they called it a worm, that was a metallic worm, that was really exciting to have part of the whole process. And God, I can't get this thing to hold on. Anyway, I'm just gonna hold it. The other thing is the way that the woman in charge of the ship wanted to bring cyber the cyber, what's it called, cyber creation, or it's not creation, but that thing that changes people from people into cybermen, that that whole studio back to her people to really help her with part of this war effort. Like that was crazy. And the other thing that was really interesting was the way that the way that Charlie was, who is this doctor that I'm hooked up with, she really doesn't know him yet. And that to me is incredible. It just is. It's so interesting that this woman from, what was it, like 1890 or 1900, is traipsing around the universe with the Doctor. It is very Katrina, or very, Victoria, the second Doctor whole thing. It's part, it feels part of that. But the
Yeah,
but the aspects of her personality that come out in this are so interesting. Like she is fearless and brutal, and she has no qualms about pushing her own agenda. She's great like that. And let's see, the other thing is that it was directed by Nicholas Briggs. So he wrote it, he adapted it, and then he wrote it again, and then he directed it. So his deal in this is so big. And then he played the Cyberman too.
yeah,
So this is bigger than a participation trophy for him. This is, you know him. This is just a really awesome thing for him. And the other thing that I noticed about this story was the wholehearted expression of like, Charlotte just didn't like it when the TARDIS was gone, when
mm,
he had to be separated from what she considered a home base, even though there were two whole spaceships that she could roam around, and if she wanted to, she could establish her own space in one of them. She just didn't feel that, and she felt like the one ship was just so cold and so antiseptic, and the other one was, full of people, but you know, also full of danger. These things were so, it was fun. It really was. And so she's got some character arc that's going to build through this whole thing, and that's fun. And then the other thing was um, that these these people who are like doing it was like salvage. It was kind of like what you hear about Firefly and Serenity, like that ship, that whole going for the salvage thing, and I just thought that was a really amazing thing that they were that they ended up on this sort of situational reality that had that in place. Let's see other things. Um, oh yeah, the airlock situation, that was crazy. So okay, back over to you, Lee. What were your favorite moments?
Um, let's
I,
see.
I know that you didn't like the music, but did you like how the two ships were different? Anyway, go on.
Yeah, well, I mean, the music was from the classic Who. It was similar to that. I don't mind it, but I think they just overused it a lot. Now, that's all I'm saying there. For me, where there was where they were in the bazaar on the planet at the beginning,
Hmm.
um, in this marketplace
Yeah.
where where Charlie was sort of being ogled over by this alien with his sort of um, suggestive comments to her, and he was prim and proper. I
Yeah.
thought that was quite funny. And the same sort of scene with where they find a golden Cyberman helmet in the
Uh-huh.
bazaar, which I found quite odd because as the story goes along, when they discover these holes in the ship's walls and things have been sliced, I think the Doctor would have thought, "Hmm, Cyberman."
They're
It's just
allergic to them.
yeah, logically, because he didn't really know until it was too late what it was. And I'm thinking, well, he's just been manhandling a golden Cyberman helmet early on in the day. That would might have jogged his memory when about Cybermats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
think
the Cyberman figured out that he should have known too.
I mean it was good the way that with the Cybermen it was the Doctor is on their files, shall we say,
Uh-huh.
uh, as a known enemy,
Uh-huh.
which like harking back to the olden days, you are an enemy of the Cybermen and all like that. So that they keep files on him. Said the portrayal Cybermen, yeah, I can't fault it. Um, Supporting cast was good. You've got. I'm just looking at the cast now. Where am I? My screen's moved. Where's the cast gone? Oh, here we are.
Who are you thinking of?
Now I'm just saying, you've got who you got. You've got Toby Longworth again, as
Hmm.
usual. Helen Goldwyn. Diva Jansen was played by Michelle Livingstone. Edwards was in this. Matt Gatiss.
Hmm.
Is so Oh, and Bruce Montague who played Grash, the
Yeah.
which great character. But spoilers, folks. everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Except, of course, the two main characters. And that's what I like about Cyberman stories. When they're like that, everybody dies. So we look at, you know, the classics where everybody dies. And, you know, you go to other more modern stories and everybody survives. And it's a bit boring, that, isn't it?
I don't know. Christopher Eccleston was so excited about it.
Well, yeah, yeah. Apart from that one, yeah, but he was,
And
yeah.
once you get Christopher Eccleston excited, he stays excited.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
but for one of the early audios, it still stands up now.
I
To me.
know.
I mean, this was what was this 2000 and
Two.
was it 2002, 2001, something like that?
2001. Sorry.
Yeah. Um, I mean, what is it? We're now 2026, so
25 years ago.
25 years ago, and this year we're celebrating 30 years of McGann's first appearance as the Doctor.
Hmm.
Mm. So it was a good thing, you know, to just do one of his. I say the audios for the Eighth Doctor has made me love him more.
Hmm.
Um,
Me too.
him
Agreed.
and you know they have written some really fantastic stories for him.
Hmm.
Just think what could have been for you know what could have been
Hmm.
visual, say, but we've got him in audio, so you know you can't fault that. They've done him justice on audio, like they did with Colin Baker. Um, and yeah, I'll say all of them. Really, they've done justice for all of the Doctors, really.
They have. I mean, even someone who got as much exposure as the Fourth Doctor actually has continued exposure to this very day.
Well, he doesn't do it now.
What?
He doesn't do it now.
Doesn't He doesn't create them now, but there are many
Oh, they've got,
in the vault.
yeah, they've got about 6 more years worth in the
Right,
vault.
in the
Yeah.
vault, and providing there's no fallout.
Mm. Oh, I saw what you did then.
Good, very good. We should be okay, and able to enjoy Tom Baker, and it's so worth the time to spend some listening on these because these are so good. And this one, I mean, there was the way that the galaxy was like, the way that the galaxy was sort of established, like the Mutter galaxy, I think they call it, and and um, and then you think of the Sword of Orion, and then there's there's that other galaxy that forms one of the parts of the Sword of Orion. So you're like, what did the cyber is Telos perhaps in that other galaxy? I mean, you don't really know. It
Mm.
could be in this one, it could be in that one, but the whole thing surrounded by this is one of those points where instead of being Mondasian Cybermen, they were Telosian Cybermen, which is, it could be, they don't even show you where they are, and they don't sort of describe the planetary, um, the topography of the galaxy. Anyway, I just don't even know, but it's really cool anyway because all the way through the telly show, it's all been Mondasian Cybermen, but then you get into audios and you get this whole other sort of cyber arm, so to speak. Um, and yeah, so I just think that would be really something to be able to, you know, um, to uh, be really thorough about that. But the fact that they knew that the Sword of Orion was also perhaps that ship, and like there's just so many cool things about this and the fact that it lands on some incredible, like revelations. Like this, the first time it ends, you're just like, oh god, the Cybermen, they know they're on their way, and they're gonna,
See,
all these people, they're not gonna survive, and none of them do. But that kind of thing is rough. It's
yeah. I mean, when this was first released,
Mhm.
the title Sword of Orion didn't give anything away about Cybermen in the title.
Not a sausage.
But what's on the cover of it?
Uh-huh.
The Cybermen. And I'm thinking, why do they do? They shouldn't have put that on there, because then when the reveal is there,
Mhm.
it would have been a lot more. Oh, it's the Cybermen.
Yeah.
But because usually it's Revenge of the Cybermen, Attack of the Cybermen,
Mhm.
Ascension of the Cybermen, or whatever. But this was Sword of Orion. No clue to a Cyberman story, which
Mhm.
for me personally, I want to put a Cyberman on the cover.
I can see your point. It's a good point.
It's always better to shock the audience, like Earth Shock.
Like Earthshock. Oh my gosh.
Like
Yeah,
Earth
like
Shock.
like at first I thought that these were the Cybermen from Earthshock, but then you get by the music and the sort of attitude, it really is when
Engaging.
the Brigadier got his whole
But,
his promotion and his upgrade, his pay upgrade, and unit was established. That it's that
but,
cyber group. It
yeah,
was
but
not the Tomb of the Cybermen, and it's not like the Earthshock Cybermen, but it's like the ones kind of like, yeah.
it's the same with the Earth Shock situation where nobody, when it was broadcast, nobody knew the Cybermen were going to be returning, and
Oh
it
wow,
was the title didn't give anything away.
right.
And that's what Sword of Orion should have done. Sword of Orion, but not have a Cyberman on the cover.
Two spaceships would have been
They could have done
sufficient.
they could have done something, yeah. But I was thinking,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's just me anyway. But unless they're thinking we're going to have to sell this, how are we going to sell? We'll put Cyberman on the cover. People will buy it then. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. All right. Well, and you know, apparently there was a group of fans that already knew this story because they talked to Mr. Briggs, and they talked to about this with him. So they knew what the hell they were getting,
Yeah, but
but
not
not
a lot
every
of
fan was
no,
that deep into it,
no, not every fan had heard of this
and not
originally.
every fan had heard of it, and not every fan had that kind of access. You're right.
Uh, but apart from that, I enjoyed it. It was
Oh.
good to listen to it.
So what I enjoyed the camaraderie, the nascent camaraderie of Charlie and the Doctor, and this was before she'd fallen in love with him. This was so there was a lot of like, who the hell is this guy kind of thing, and that was good. And you know the reality of his not being human, and that the Doctor looking human was affecting her because she was like, you know don't you aren't you worried about these people? And he had a different perspective on that. And when the Doctor became the enemy of the Cybermen, due to all of those situations, and due to the fact that the Telosians were obviously some sort of mind share, internet Wi-Fi in the brains with the Mondasian Cybermen, that kind of share and share alike created a file for him, and he wasn't their favorite person at that point, and so yeah, um, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the that those sort of those sorts of dynamics. And what about you, Lee?
Well,
What's
I
your
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was. Well, I enjoy most of Big Finish's output. I think most of the recent stuff they're coming out with now is a bit, mm, but the early stuff, it's right up there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if that. I don't know if it's because of the writers they've got now, or I don't know. Some of it's hit and miss these days.
Hmm.
But when they started out, it was hit after hit after hit. But yeah, this is a classic one. So, do you want my rating on this?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to give this. And the only gripe I did have was the constant Cyberman clanking music, metal music. You know what I mean, don't you? That clanky clank, um, all the way through it, which was overused. So I'm going to give this 9.5 Cybermats out of 10.
Hmm. All right. Well, I love this one because two spaceships, one derelict, one full of people. The derelict one always reminds me of the what you call it, the Event Horizon ship. Anyway, that whole thing, and then like the whole one that's full of people. It could be anyone of a million ships. But the fact that it was there to do salvage work, it brings you right back to that whole Serenity ship. Anyway, and the Firefly people and Captain Mal and those guys and stuff. And so the other situations that really were interesting were the the people didn't survive, but Charlotte got to know the doctor, and later on she gets her own series, and so that's fun. But the persistence of relational, building that they started is really good. It's really, really good. And she meets other doctors and travels, and she's got a lot to do. This is just the beginning, and I like that. And then the other thing is, I would say that I would give sort of Orion 10 derelict ships out of 10, and I would say, don't relocate that's what it's called. It's called a cyber conversion center. Please don't move that cyber conversion center. Be so kind as to just leave that shit alone, okay? And I think that
It
that's
can be
my
came back. Yeah.
forward, so that we're not for kids, okay? Yeah, that suffices. And good story, Nick Briggs. Good job. Like your attitude as a fanboy writing fiction for and TV shows for Doctor Who in the hiatus years. Good job. Anyway, yeah. And all of that to be said, if you want to join us, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button. Bing. And also, if you'd like to join us, please, 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 please talk to Lee, and we'd be happy to have you. You gotta have a phone, device, a camera, microphone, and Zoom, and be willing to participate at 9 p.m. in the UK. And also, that is 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'd just be really glad to have you. And darn glad to have you also, you know, join us on our social media because in there you can also participate. And we are very geeky. We don't only talk about Doctor Who, and we don't only talk about Star Trek. This week we talked about Fallout, and if you watched the show, you knew what I did there. But just saying that your energy could be well spent, you know,
Yeah.
enjoying the rest of our podcast. And thanks for watching, and you will be like us. And resistance is useless.
Mm, really?